So I've just finished season 4 of Stranger Things. Spoiler warning going ahead. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch the video. Go watch the series, then come back. So the story kicks off with a very Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibe. The villain of the series, Vecna, named after a D&D like character, I think. The kids name him after a D&D wizard. Maybe in their game, maybe in the actual D&D game. But he is a sorcerer who is possessing people's nightmares or dreams, and that's how he kills them. First off, a girl died. Well, we find out that 30 years ago, a whole family was murdered, and it's blamed on the father. And then 30 years later, a girl dies. It's blamed on like the town like freak. But then a boy dies, and then a member of I think it's the basketball team dies. And so we find out throughout the story, so it's actually Vecna that's killing them. It's not actually like the Mind Flayer or the Demogorgon or anything like that. So if you've watched the whole series, you know that Vecna is actually number 1, because we've been getting flashback memories of Eleven when she was first in the Hawkins lab, and it's made out that Eleven killed all the other kids in the lab, but it was actually Vecna who was number 1. The guy that has been helping her the whole season in the flashbacks is actually number 1. The first person to have these powers. He actually was the son of the family from 30 years ago, and he saw the world in a very villainous way, that humanity is the plague on Earth, and they are the most unnatural thing about nature, and that they all must be stopped. And it's like, ooh, it's very really dark and villainous. I love villains like this. And Vecna's look is very Freddy Krueger, with his long, instead of the knives, it's long nails, and he invades people's minds, and it's very reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street. But then at the end of the final episode, we find out that it wasn't Eleven that killed all the kids, it was actually number 1, and that she killed him, but in doing so she opened the first gate to the Upside Down. I think maybe she actually created the Upside Down when doing this, or maybe the Vecna, or number 1, in doing all these evil acts, created the Upside Down. It was one or 11 that created the Upside Down. But the story we've been getting, so 11 opening up the first gate to the Demogorgon, to the Mind Flayer, this has all been leading up to this moment, and this is only halfway through season 1. Season 4, we've got another part of season 4 coming in June or July, but I can't wait. It's such a good season, and I literally didn't know what was going on until the very last episode. It's such a good show. And we also find out that Hopper's still alive, and Will's mum goes to rescue him, and there's a whole sub story with the Russians or the communists have their own Demogorgon, and they're training it to be a weapon, obviously, to destroy the America. and Will's mum actually goes there to save him, and it's a really sweet scene. I hope they get out alive. I really do. But yeah, 10 out of 10 season. Would recommend. I'm probably gonna actually rewatch the whole season to like refresh myself, because there's obviously things I feel like I missed a lot. But yeah, the story that we've been getting is kind of like, so it's like the flashbacks are the start of the story, and like everything's happened because of 11, and that's just meant, like, they've been trying to paint her as a villain in this season, and I feel like it's just the tipping point. I can't wait for the second part of season 4.